My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a life coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. Happy full moon. I hope you're all feeling okay with the energies of the last few days and of today as well. They're going to be very heavy and it'll probably lead on to the next few days as well. So just be mindful of that and look after yourselves and rest over this week and the next couple of days. So today I want to talk about toxic masculinity. Now, before I start, this is not me going on a rant about men, because we all have a balance of masculine and feminine energy, yin and yang. Yin is the feminine and yang is the masculine. We all have a balance of both. And when one is too high or one is too low, it becomes erratic in a sense. So women and men can suffer from toxic masculinity. I myself have my own experience of it, and I'll explain that in a bit. So toxic masculinity is the conditioning that men have, that it's weak to express emotion. It's what way do I put it? Men think it's wrong to express emotion, to express feelings. Men think that they have to be macho. Men think that they need to be this, I don't know, caveman mentality, is it? Because it is weak to act feminine. It is weak to express your femininity. It is weak to express emotion. That's what they have learned. Say, for example, a father seeing his young boy crying says, "Man up," or "Men don't cry." This leads to emotional damage, and this leads to aggression, and it leads to even sexism, homophobia, and all kinds of things like that. So how do I describe this? So like men grow up in a very masculine, macho kind of persona. They think they have to be a certain way to fit in, or to be a man in a sense. So like I've seen it growing up when we were teenagers and we were going out to the clubs. The boys would be going out, their main objective was to fight. This was their mentality. And generation after generation, you have to be a fighter, you have to be aggressive, you have to be the protector in a sense. And this has led for men to bottle things up, to put walls around their heart and to not express emotion. This leads to mental health issues. And then men think it's weak to ask for help, so therefore this can lead to suicide as well. But this can also lead to aggression. It can lead to the abuse of drugs. It can lead to erratic driving, gambling, all kinds of behaviour like this, because the man isn't living, he feels that he's not living up to society's role, which is in effect to be this macho, masculine man. This man who has no feelings. The way I see it is like, I am man, I build fire, I have no emotion and I have no feelings. And this is what they believe to be the norm, or to be as I said, normal. But what I love is, what's normal for the spider is chaos to the fly. So there is no such thing as normal. But in this society, so many men bottle their emotions, bottle themselves up, and act like this big macho man, thinking that this is the way to be, and that if they express emotion, they're going to be weak, they're going to be feminine, or called a pussy or whatever. And this happens from being in school onwards and onwards and onwards. But this leads to aggression, and it leads to sexism even, and an imbalance of how men treat some women. And I'm not pinpointing just men. For example, I grew up in a toxic masculine household. I grew up with my dad and my brother. And I didn't even realise it was toxic until I stepped away from it last year and looked back on my whole childhood. As a girl growing up with two men, I felt inferior because I felt different to them. Why didn't I fit into their world? And it's something in my unconscious mind aspired to be a man, because I didn't fit in there. And I was like, I want to be like my dad, I want to be like my brother. So what do I do to do this? And I became a tomboy. And I had mainly male friends, but I actually inherited toxic masculine traits. And I was going out with a narcissist in my 20s as well. And I learned this kind of behaviour off him as well. This led me, I had aggressive behaviour. I was aggressive and violent through alcohol. And I disrespected women as well. I'm bisexual, but when I got drunk, I used to disrespect my female friends when I actually got them in later life. And I've apologised to them since I sobered up, and I was like, oh my God, the way I treated you when I was drunk was very, very disrespectful. And I look back now and I see I was a toxic masculine. I was. My balance of yin yang was so off that I had mainly masculine tendencies, and I had toxic traits. And I remember even working, I was working in a factory, and I was doing a male-dominated job, which I loved. But one of the lads said to me, compared me to the women on the floor, and I was like, don't you dare call me a woman. Like, I disrespected my own femininity by being a toxic masculine. So I'm not pinpointing just men here about this toxic behaviour. But back in the day, men disrespected women to so much that a man used to possess his wife, take ownership of his wife, think that he could use her because he was married to her. They used to rape their own fucking wives in their sleep because of this toxic behaviour. Now, thankfully, generations have changed and things are getting better, and there are more men out there that are expressing their emotions. But there is still so many cultures that think it's weak for a man to cry. A guy from a different nationality turned around to me one day and said, it's not right for men to cry, is it? And I went nuts. I was like, what is wrong with you? You have to express emotion to release it. You need to be able to express what's inside you to heal from it. And when a man closes, or a woman closes these walls around their heart, it leads to toxicity, it leads to unhealthy behaviour, and this leads to mental health issues, this leads to aggression, this leads to abuse of substances, because they don't feel that they're fitting into society's norms. And I remember even as a teenager as well, I had a boyfriend, and he was one of the sweetest guys ever. We got on so well, but he had such toxic male friends who used to shit on me. And because of that, we broke up, and it was just like, when he was around them, he was nasty. He was trying to put on this macho persona, and it's just like, that is not sexy. That is not attractive. Fighting is not sexy. And that's the thing, like, men think it's too feminine to use moisturizer, or to trim their beard, or to look after themselves physically. And no, it is actually quite sexy for a man to care about himself enough to look after his skin and his hair or whatever, and to actually pamper himself. This is not gay, this is actually attractive. When a man opens up about his emotions, this is attractive to a woman. Like, men, you're not marrying your best friend who thinks you have to be this or that. You're marrying your future wife, your future mother of your children. This is the person that you need to protect and nurture. This woman needs you to open up to her. She doesn't need you to be this scruffy macho man who doesn't fucking, this kind of shit. She needs somebody who emotionally protects her on a soul level, not on this materialistic or macho level. We don't need you to build fires anymore. We can build our own fires. We don't need you to financially provide for us, because we can financially provide for ourselves. We need you to be emotionally mature and emotionally intelligent. This is not weakness. It is not weak to be vulnerable. It takes great strength to be vulnerable. And this is the thing, like, asking for help as well. Men don't ask. I don't ask for help. This is another trait that I still have. I don't ask for help because I think that I have to do it all myself. I feel like I'm weak if I need to ask for help. But it's not weak. It takes such strength to open up. It takes such strength to ask for help. It takes such strength to be vulnerable and to express your emotions. And, like, in fairness, it is actually sexy to see a man cry. I know that sounds weird. I don't like to see anyone like that, but for a man to be comfortable enough in his own skin to be able to express what's inside his heart and to express his emotions is absolutely the most sexiest thing you could ever do. A metrosexual man is sexy. A man who looks after his appearance, his mind, his body and his soul. A spiritually and emotionally intelligent man is what's sexy. We are not living in the fucking Stone Age. We do not need you to build us fires. We do not need you to financially provide for us. And that's another thing. Men think that they have to be in a certain role or a certain status to hold up some exterior materialistic, persona or something. But things have changed. Men and women are equal, and we need to balance our yin and yang. Both men and women have masculine and feminine energy, and we need to balance the both. And I look back and I see how unbalanced I was. I had very few female friends. Women didn't like me, and I didn't like women because I had no proper female role model growing up. I was a toxic masculine energy, and I look back now and I see that. And it's like, even going out to the clubs, I wouldn't have a handbag because I didn't want to be associated with women. And my pockets would be full to the neck with fags and fucking phones, everything, keys, whatever. Like, you know, I was I'm a walking contradiction because I have now such a good balance of yin and yang. Oxymoron, I love to call myself that. It's one of my favourite words. Like, I have both masculine and feminine traits. I have yin and yang, but now thankfully I've balanced the two. And now I express my femininity and I love it. And I have so many soul sisters now on my support team because I've opened up to who I really am. And that's the thing, I disrespected my feminine side the same way toxic masculinity makes men disrespect women. This leads to harassment, rape and possession in relationships, like a man telling his woman what to wear, a man telling his woman who she can see. This is not healthy behavior. This is not what society should be anymore. Men need to unlearn this toxicity and stop feeling they need to be this big macho fucking caveman. That's not attractive anymore. Emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, this is what's attractive. Looking after your mental, physical and emotional well-being is attractive to women. You're not going to marry your best friend who says you need to be this or that. You're not marrying your father. You're not your father who's told you that you can't cry, or it's not manly to cry, or to toughen up, that men shouldn't have mental health issues or ask for help. They need to toughen up. This is not the way it should be. And this is scary because men are still suppressing their emotions, and this is leading to them not asking for help. This is leading to mental health, and this is leading to suicide. You know what I mean? And this is not right. People need to be more emotional and open up more. We've been told for years, men and women, kids, don't cry. You can't cry. It's weak to cry. No, it's not. It's healthy to cry. We need to get out these fucking traumas out of our body. We need to express ourselves. Like, you know, a man thinks, okay, I won't tell this girl how I feel, or this person how I feel, because this will make me look weak or emasculated. No, it is attractive to hear a person express their truth. Use your fucking words. Like, I get so triggered with movies when people don't communicate. For fuck's sake, use your words. Like, come on, this is society is so wrong. Traditionals, we need to break these generational curses. You need to break this generational curse. If you feel that you have an imbalance, and if you are not able to open your emotions, you need to go within yourself and find and express who you are. We, as I said, are not living in the fucking Stone Age. You do not have to be that toxic man who goes out and fights to fucking survive. Fighting isn't sexy. It is not sexy anymore. It just isn't. And as I said, for the guys I was friends with in school, their intention going out, we used to go out and let's go out and have a good time. They were like, yeah, let's go out and fight. They used to get industrial nuts to put on their fingers to go out that night because their intention was to fight. How is this normal? How is this right? Like, it just isn't. And as I said, like, things are changing, thankfully, but a lot of cultures are still saying, men don't cry. This is not, don't express your emotions. Treat her like shit because, you know, I don't know, like, what is it? What is this mentality? It's a conditioned brainwashing that we have learned over generations and generations and generations. And like, you do not have to be your father or your grandfather. You do not have to be that caveman mentality. It is okay to have an equal balance of yin and yang. It is okay to express your feminine and your masculine side. I love having a balance of both. And I don't want to suppress my masculine side because I love that side of myself. And I love my feminine side. And I love now that I have an equal balance of the two. Whereas before, I look back and I was toxic. And I realized it was because I grew up aspiring to be a man, because I grew up in a toxic masculine household. And like, I only realize this now, and like, I'm so glad I'm able to actually to have balanced things out now, because I love my feminine side. I love expressing that part of me, because it makes me so much more warmer to the world, and it helps me to open my heart, because I had those walls up around my heart. I had that kind of, I can't feel because I'll only get hurt mentality. But like, for men, it's like, I can't feel because it expresses weakness. It is not weak to show how you feel. This is what we need these days. We need emotional support. We don't need you to build that fucking fire. We can build it ourselves. Women are strong now. We're independent. We want somebody who will be equal to us, not a protector. We can protect each other equally. We can look after each other equally. But a woman needs a man to be emotionally intelligent, not fucking caveman mentality, okay? Just, this is it, like, balance your yin and yang. Balance your light and your dark. And don't suppress your feminine side, because it's not about being girly or gay or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with being gay. There's masculine, I don't know how to use these words. Like, you know, being gay doesn't make you weak, you know, but if you're a toxic masculine man, you will be a homophobe, you will be sexist, and you will have this kind of superiority over women. And it's disgusting, and this leads to harassment and stuff like. And as I said, I had these kind of traits myself, and I apologise to my female friends for how I treated them when I was drinking and stuff. I was very disrespectful to them, and I'm so sorry for that, and I see that now. But like, you know, and that's the thing, like, you know, slapping a woman's arse and stuff like that, like, this used to be the norm. And don't get me wrong, if you're in a relationship, that's great fun or whatever, but like, the way men used to treat women, strangers as well, like, it's toxic. It was toxic. Like she was a piece of meat, like. And then another thing as well, I've been watching this on programs lately, like, you know, flight attendants getting fucking harassed by the pilots and stuff because they felt the pilot felt superior. Another thing is men couldn't be gay in the military or they'd be kicked out of it. Like, what the fuck? Like, your sexuality shouldn't change what you are to the world. Do you know what I mean? We can do and be anything. And that sexism thing about fucking women not being able to even go into certain workplaces or do certain jobs because of how they would be treated by men. And like, I went to the NCT centre yesterday, and it was the first time I saw a few women on the floor doing the job, and I was like, yes, thank fuck, things are changing. Because us women can do male jobs. I used to work in a meat factory, and I was a supervisor, and I done that job better than any fucking man could, I swear to God. And I'm as strong as an ox, and I love that part of myself. We women can do this, but for a long time, we weren't allowed into these jobs because of the way men treated women, or the way men took the piss out of women, or harassed women. And as I said, it does go both ways, because I wasn't a very nice person when I had drink in me. I wasn't. And that's not nice, and I've healed from that. I have balanced my yin and yang, but you need to understand that it is actually healthy. It is sexy to express emotion. It is to tell how you feel, to open up your heart. Don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to access your emotional intelligence, because this is what us women need now. We need an equal partner who knows how to open up and who is there for us emotionally and on a soul level. We do not need you to be in this high status job. We do not need you to build that fire. We can do this shit ourselves. We can financially provide for ourselves. We can build that fire ourselves. We can do the DIY ourselves, because we have a good balance of yin and yang. So, and this goes for women as well, in a sense. Embrace your masculine side. Don't be so codependent on a man that you need him to hang up that picture. Fucking hammer that fucking nail into the wall yourself, for God's sake. Do you know, build that thing yourself. Google is great. We can do anything. Like, do you know what I mean? So, like, do you know, women, you need to balance your yin and yang as well. You need to embrace your masculine side, and don't be so codependent on a man to provide or protect for you, because you can do it yourself. We can do these things ourselves. We can balance our yin and yang. We can do these things and provide for ourselves and become independent ourselves, and then attract in a partner who's equal to us and who can share this. This is another thing. Men are like, we can't do household chores. This is the woman's job. Woman's place is in the kitchen. The woman's place is to cook. I will not pick up that fucking Hoover because no. Do you know, that's a woman's job. No, fuck that shit, like, and this is to do with fucking mothers over mothering their fucking children as well. Give that fucking child a Hoover and tell him how to use that washing machine, because I've seen so many men who will stare at a washing machine like this for ages going, how'd you press on? Or I think one of them said one time, how'd you press play? For fuck's sake, like, do you know what I mean? Like, women need to start teaching their fucking young lads how to fucking cook and clean as well. So, like, you know, I'm not bitching here on men just as well. Women need to balance their yin yang as well, and stop teaching men that they need a woman to replace his mother and fucking pick up his fucking socks for him. He can do that shit himself. And also, a woman needs to balance her yin and yang so that she's not there expecting the man to do all the fucking manly duties. Why can't us women do the DIY and he cook the fucking dinner and fucking do the washing? Do you know this kind of thing? So we need to balance, both men and women need to balance their yin and yang. We need to stop this toxic masculine behaviour, but the women need to stop this over feminine behaviour as well. We are well able to do this shit. So stop depending on a man or needing a fucking man to fucking do your fucking shit for you. And men, stop depending on fucking women to do the shit for you. All of us do it together, we all share the fucking responsibility, and we all come into this equally. But this is why emotional intelligence is so important as well. We need to be communicative in relationships. We need to open up about what we feel. We need to stop suppressing stuff so that this doesn't lead to mental health issues and abuse of substances and drugs and drink and whatever. We need to start showing men that it's okay to speak about your feelings. It is actually sexy to speak about your fucking feelings. But it's more important for your mental health more than anything to speak about your emotions. Get that shit out of you, because if you bottle it up, and I've done this myself, if I bottle stuff up, I get so fucking triggered, and I live alone, but I will get fucking angry. I've punched walls from anger just at myself, like, and that's not nice. Being violent is not nice. And I used to be violent through alcohol. I was in the wrong relationships and stuff, but that doesn't matter. But I obviously abused alcohol and got aggressive in relationships because I wasn't living my soul's role. And I had toxic masculine traits as well. Do you know what I mean? So stop being the person that thinks violence is the go-to. Stop being that macho man thinking, I am man, I build fire. We don't need that anymore. We're not living in a fucking cave. So just balance your yin and yang. Men, women, both of you. We have both masculine and feminine energies. Balance the two. Become just zen with your level of, just be balanced. Express your emotions. Tell that person you love them. Life is fucking short. Do you know, and that's the thing, we fear rejection and all that, but rejection makes you stronger, and rejection is actually protection. So, you know, the universe protects you if you express to the wrong person and they reject you. That's nothing to do with you. That is nothing to do with you. It's all to do with them. But just don't be afraid to say how you fucking feel. Do you know what I mean? Don't be afraid of that. Expression does not make you weak. Vulnerability is a strength. Crying, being open with your emotions is strong. Asking for help, it takes strength to ask for help. It takes strength to cry. It takes strength to be vulnerable, and it takes strength to take those walls down around from your heart. It really, really does. So just try and embrace that and stop living up to this macho fucking persona. It's not sexy. It is not fucking sexy. Fighting is not sexy. Violence is not sexy. Sexual harassment is not fucking sexy. Hiding your emotions is not sexy. Not looking after your appearance it's not sexy. Metrosexuality is beautiful. Look after who you are, body, mind and soul. Male, female, whatever. Balance your yin and yang. Balance who you are, and stop doing what other people do and just listen to your own heart and soul. Follow your own path. Break that generational curse. Break that fucking shit that those fucking cavemen taught us. Like, we have evolved. We no longer have to live in the way that our ancestors lived, our grandparents, our parents. We do not have to do that. We're here to break that curse. We are here to break that generational trauma and the way that we used to live before. Times are changing. We're here to change this fucking planet for future children, for future generations. So open your heart, open yourself up, embrace your femininity, embrace your masculinity, balance the two and just be who you are. Don't be who they want you to be. Be who you are in your heart and soul. So thank you for listening today, and if this resonates, please like and share. and please like and share my page. See you again.